So, I mean, must be difficult to establish kind of a rhythm in this kind of setting. What was that like coming into it?
Yeah, that's hard. Both teams. I mean, it's to quickly turn around and play, an abbreviated game, new rule, which I'm not opposed to. I mean, obviously, we like to be in the lead in those moments. So this used to have to be played the full 90 in the past. So yes, it's weird starting the game in the segment, like in that moment. That's weird from a Rather standpoint. But I like the chances we created, and I thought we were pretty darn good in many ways this one game / 2 days.
And is it frustrating that, that penalty kick serves as the difference, and like we've been talking about recently, getting so close and not finishing, just kind of that confusion?
Yeah, that's a play that happens a lot. That's a disappointing review, and yeah, that's a little bit right now. The balls aren't bouncing advantageously. The whistle's not been advantageous, or it's been used incorrectly. We need to be better around goal. Our final pass needs to be better. All those collectively, you could walk away going 3-1's probably a fair result with some of the chances we had. And you could see that in some other games. So that, I wouldn't say it's frustrating. I'm optimistic because I see it. We just got to start getting them in.
This result is disappointing, but in isolation, Maryland probably the most talented and best team played outside of Notre Dame and maybe Dayton. So in isolation, this result probably wouldn't surprise people, but given some of the other results and ties, does it hurt a little more?
Well, yeah, in the conference, the non-conference is more of a resume scenario that hurts. This one is more, every point. I really thought we could salvage a point. 20 minutes is a lot of time to find a goal, and I felt like we would be able to get a couple good chances, and we did. So yeah, Maryland's obviously a really good side, and they're very motivated. They were last in the Big Ten, a very proud program that does not want to be near that position. So there's a lot of motivation on their sideline. We have a group that won the double last year, and there's a motivation to do that as well. But sometimes when you're hurt, the motivation sometimes is even a little stronger. I think Maryland's playing with a lot of that right now. They're hurt from last year, and they have a lot of dog in them right now. I give them credit. They're playing tough and hard, and there's a good belief.
It's an impressive performance from Mayer in the first half, especially. What have you seen from him from the first game where we first saw him to now?
Yeah, I think every game physically, he's obviously every week getting sharper, fitter. His distribution you see is cleaner. I think his turning, his physical attributes are better every week. He looks like a junior, honestly. I said that about his brothers too. It's pretty unique, and he's got a great demeanor to offset the rest of the back line. He's played very well. Yeah, it's in many games we say we didn't really notice Josh much. He's just doing the little things really well, making the simple passes that he needs and not try to play outside of his range. But he does have he has good entry balls into the midfield and second and third lines. He has good timing. He doesn't telegraph his intentions. So we've found some really good possessions through Josh, through some simple kind of single 10, 15-yard passes, and he's done a good job with that.
You're always evaluating, but in this long week off now until Ohio State, what are kind of going to be the points of introspection that you're looking at?
Well, I think we continue to look at closely at our restarts. I thought we were better this game. We have some new wrinkles that we were working on. I think we can layer on those things. So I felt better. We were getting some chances. Some of the earlier games, I felt like we weren't really getting anything out of some of our restarts. Yesterday and today, I felt we got some dangerous looks. We have a long throw that's a weapon. We use it when we have it. When we don't have it, we don't. And obviously, we're very good in the front half to rotate, and we don't have to use it, but it is a good weapon. And we're just so close. You saw it against Evansville. There was one bouncing around last night. There was another one today. I thought that was it's just a scramble. It's another way to create an opportunity and we're already getting a lot from them to play, but just one more chance. And there's a good belief that the guys can make a play.
Speaking of that, you mentioned Maryland is like last year struggled. The year before that, it was Penn State. UCLA, the new power, they've been up and down. Some of the powers I've noticed the last few years in college soccer have struggled a bit to keep up. You've been fortunate to eventually figure it out. Some of them have actually not eventually figured it out. I know. Are you confident you can do that because you have in the past, unlike some of these? And why do you think some of the powers have struggled more in the last few years compared to recently? Is it just the competitive in college soccer?
The first part of your question, I think there's just more better players. You know, the MLS academies, some of the other academies or club, there's better coaching at the youth. There's a plethora more of good players. May not be special guys. So where we would have big matchup advantages in games, you see less of that across the board. So a team that you would call kind of proverbial mid-major, they can get some pretty good guys. The margins aren't as big as they were 10, 15, 20 years ago, for sure, big margins. That's the biggest. And internationals are about 35 to 40%. And internationals are coming from top places, and they're typically older. So the international and our coaching parity. And two, yeah, I do think we can, get the results that we need. And that's because I think we have the quality and the perseverance to do that. But it's going to be challenging because the teams we're playing are all quality.
Is that the reason, though? Like you said, is that why it's taking you a bit to figure it out the last few seasons? Is the parity now why it's taking?
I think that could be part of it. I think right now more it's if we can just be better in two phases of the game. We may not be talking as much about parity. I do think generally the parity is there, and it is there. It's truthful, but like our specific, we've done enough in all the games, really outside of the St. Louis game, to flip the results, whether that's a tie or a win from the tie. So we could easily be sitting in a way different position, and there wouldn't be certainly a concern that certainly from the outside has. I'm sorry, but the inside feels confident. They're frustrated but confident. They've done it. They know they have talent in the room. It's just every game that you slip with points, it gets tighter, and you don't want to leave everything at the end where it's like we got to get this win to get whatever we want to accomplish. So we don't want to be in that situation. We want to be able to be in control, and no one's in control 2 games in. I mean, Maryland's 2-0. I don't think anyone's running the table in the Big Ten, and I say that in a way that I think Maryland's a good side. I just feel like for them to run the table will be very difficult. So I think there'll be some losses across the conference, and therefore, we have just as good opportunity as the rest to be in that fighting position at the end.
Yes, Coach.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.